be upstanding. Let's praise his name by standing. Let everything that hath breath do what? Praise the Lord. So let's just bow down for prayer before we listen to what the Lord has prepared today. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we want to thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for bringing us into your presence, King of glory. You have been faithful to us from January to date, oh God. We cannot complain. We ask, Father, that as we start to learn at your feet, come and be my help, oh God. Teach yourself, oh God, and let us all live here being reminded of the stewardship we are supposed to undertake as Christians. We thank you and we bless your name. In Jesus' wonderful name we have prayed. Amen and amen. You may have your seats as you smile at your neighbor and tell them they look green. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Yeah, he leads me to what? Green pastures. So today we are all green, and the Lord has brought us to his pastures again so that we can hear from him. Thank you very much, Pastor and Mommy, for giving me this opportunity to come and teach us something on Christianity and environmental stewardship. I also want to say thank you to the youth minister, Brother Ernest, Wandera. He's always been reminding me, and I was telling myself, oh, maybe I'll forget. He really wanted this, and I want to thank him for giving me this opportunity and also extending it to Kate to come and be with us. I think a practical situation is important. It remains longer than just getting theoretic things. And I'm sure you have learned quite a lot from what she presented on Let's Fix Fashion. And before I go to what I want to say, I think there's one person here who is fixing fashion, and he has a tie that is older than Washeke. And that is our brother here. He told us his tie is what he used during his wedding. Maybe you can just show it to us. Then I'll tell you how you're fixing fashion. Doesn't it look great? It still looks brand new, isn't it? So he's been taking good care of it. Thank you very much, and God bless you for doing that. So you don't just discard things, use them and you feel, let me throw it away. No, it will come handy someday, like it has become handy today. So I'll go straight to the topic, Christianity and environmental stewardship, right from the beginning, of the day in our open heavens. I realized that, yes, we are being reminded, not to be ignorant. And so from these ignorance, what we've been hearing from the presentations, Bessie gave a very good presentation too. A round of applause to her. A round of applause to Bessie and Kate too. They have taught us quite a lot, and I think the sermon is over. I'm just going to say a little bit more from what they have said. Now, in the open heavens, we are told ignorance is one of the worst limitations any human being can face. Ignorance. And we are told in Kenya, ignorance is no defense before the law. So even before God, ignorance is no defense. We have been given the opportunities to do what? To give to learn, to hear, and to do what we have been taught. So what is Christianity? Christianity is the faith that focuses on Jesus Christ, Son of God, who atones sins through his death and resurrection, bringing salvation to all who believe in him. That definition a lot speaks heavy a lot, Christians, we are called Christians because remember in Acts 11:26, the disciples, they were called Christians in Antioch. They were behaving like Christ. So Christianity is based on what Christ was doing and his teachings. And as already we have been told that Christ taught people to pick litter. So why are you dropping litter? Are you a Christian then? Just stop and think about it. That's, a challenge that we have. And so one of the characteristics of a Christian is to live a purposeful life and give service to humanity. Just like Christ gave service to humanity. When they needed food, he gave them food. When they needed prayer, he gave them prayer. When they needed healing, he, healed them. And so we too are supposed to behave in the same way that Christ did. And that is where environmental stewardship comes in. So what is environmental stewardship? First of all, you need to know what is an environment. Because it doesn't say, take care of the environment, take care of the environment. What environment are you taking care of? Do you know what it is? So those of us who went through high school, we know that environment is the surroundings and conditions in which a person, an animal, or plants live or operate in. So all these environments, conditions where a person, animal, plants live, these conditions were created by God. So it takes us back, to Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created, and our stewardship started there. And so environmental stewardship is simply taking up the responsibility to care for God's creation that he gave us. Later on, we became co-creators, through Adam. And in the, just a reminder, the creation story, light was created, the heavens were created, day and night was created, the sun, moon, stars, and the seasons were created. I'm sure someone is wondering, how will I protect, the sun, the moon? You will know. Through heavy pollution, you may not see the stars, So we need to protect all those. Then we have the sea creatures and the birds on land. And they were created, most of them we were given for food. And then God created man, and he created him in his own image, meaning we need to pick up the characteristics of God. He was a worker, and he made the Garden of Eden beautiful. And before he could, take off, he decided to create us and gave us the mandate. God took a rest and let us now take over from there, so that we can, take care of what he created. And when he was creating, there are two famous phrases that he used. The first one was, let there be. That was a command, let there be. And when he said it, it came to be. The stars, the moon, the flowers, everything, he commanded them to be. He decided to sit down and create man himself in his own image. And so Adam became a co-creator. He became a co-creator with God, because in Genesis 2:19 to 20, if you go there, it says, so the Lord formed from the ground all the wild animals and all the birds of the sky. He brought them to man to see what he would call them, and man chose a name for each. So Adam, that was the first mandate. That's how we became co-creators. He brought them to him, and Adam said, this is a snake. This is a bed bug. The bed bugs, we are saying, we were wondering why Noah got them in the ark. That is Adam who named them, and so we became part of it, through that. So other than just naming them, he went further and told them, do what? Rule over everything. He gave man dominion. He made us and told us to rule over everything in Genesis 1:26 to 28. So after he had done this, he blessed him. He blessed him. So giving him the power to, the power to go ahead and do as he had asked him to do, fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over everything. You cannot be given dominion over something and then you start destroying it. Then you are guilty as charged. God gave us all this so that we can be the bosses over, but not to lord over them and destroy them. And, I've been mentioning Adam, and the ladies are smiling. It was Adam. No, we came in as a helper. So how are we helping, our ladies? What are we doing? So the mandate was very clear. To take up the responsibility to take care of the environment. Remember in Psalms 24 verse 1, it says that the earth is the Lord's. The earth is the Lord's. So why are we messing around with what is the Lord's and what he gave us to take care of? So I like the challenge in the morning, guilty or not guilty. And that I was saying, I think my sermon is over because I had that, but in a different way. So the question is, are we carrying out this mandate? Search yourself. Are we carrying out this mandate? Yes or no? You have the answer. And we actually really need to interrogate this because the earth we have only one earth. There's no other earth we have. They've tried Mars, they are trying Neptune or wherever, but life is only here on the earth. So we have to take care of it. So there's so many things, going around what we need to do. But before we go to that, and that is for another day, we're going to look at one aspect, littering. Littering. They talked about sweets, Our mama there talked about, she puts her sweets in her bag wrappings and then, takes them home and disposes them off. So I always ask myself, when did that sweet wrapping become so bad that it cannot even stay in your bag or wherever so that you dispose it off correctly? When it was wrapping that sweet, you were very close to it. But after that, now you just discard it. So we are going to look at littering. Littering is one of the biggest sources of pollution. From the presentations the young people gave, plastics, throwing papers all over. You can imagine the billions of people on the planet, and we are littering. So it is one of the biggest sources of pollution, and littering is to improperly drop and leave. Improperly drop and leave objects in public places, even in your homes, as the example we're being given in the homes, in church here. And I think I saw something somewhere there. I was seated somewhere there in the morning, and someone had taken water in the plastic cup and they've stashed it between the chair. I don't know if you can check somebody somewhere there. I don't know if it has been removed. Is it still there? Just check the lady in green. Just there. It's still there. I decided I will not remove it, intentionally. So you see, it's if you're sensitive enough, you realize that is not good. This is God's house. And you see, we are littering. We are starting in God's. That is improper, disposing of that plastic cup. We have a bin somewhere there where we can do it. So what are some of these objects? I'll ask the media to just show us some of the pictures I want us to use to demonstrate this. So just have a look at that. The billions of people. This is an ocean. It's a sea somewhere, in India. If you look closely below, there's water, but it's black. So you don't know whether it's a river. You don't know whether it's a lake, All that, tins, all plastic things, these cannot decompose at all. And this may look like it is very far from us, but Kate and I can tell you the truth is that Madare River just looks like this. There's one clip I didn't give, but where one of our former students, also a student leader, she was just standing on top of this litter and doing her presentation. She was not sinking, so you can imagine how much it was. And she was not even swaying. And so we need to really think, that one pen that you have thrown, that one straw that you have thrown, it is ending up there. So just think about it. Next picture. So you can see that says 2 million plastic bags are smothering our planet every minute. Plastic bags. Thank God there was a ban of plastic bags in our country, but we still have them sneaking in. When you go to the market, you see some of them, isn't it? There's one time I was walking along the road and I could see the market women, shuffling. So I wondered, what is happening? They said the city council is around. What are they doing? They're picking these small plastic clear things that, they pack for us our stuff in. So it is illegal, but somebody somewhere is sleeping on the job. There's a way they can be packaged without us, being afraid. So you can imagine every minute. So some of the items, we have cigarette butts, 2 million of them. This was, I can't remember the year, but it's not very long ago. Sweet wrappers, food wrappers, beverage, the bottles, and it's become a sickness in our country. They're even producing small ones, and that one, use it very fast and discard. We use and discard. That is ending up in our rivers. We have the plastic bags, about 1 million of them. We have the bottle tops, cups, and all that. We have the plastic spoons, forks, and knives, the cutlery that we use, very dangerous. The straws are dangerous when they end up in the seas. There's a group that is saving the turtles because some of them are born, then they swallow it, and then it pops through the nose. So you should see them going through the process of pulling it out of the nose of the turtle. They are screaming and crying. Someone might say, why should I bother? It is God's creature. Then beverage bottles and cans and bags. These are some of the top items that, are found in our waterways. Another one, the other clip. So this is what happens. This is, something to demonstrate what happens. The sea creatures, they are ingesting them. And because this cannot, be digested, at the end of the day, they will die. So some of them are so threatened. They are threatened because of that. You've even seen, let's move away from the sea, come to the homes, when a cow ingests, a plastic bag and all that. So this owner is wondering, my cow is growing thin and thin and thin. What happens? When they say, let's slaughter it, when they get out the stomach, what? The nylon papers. So we need Blue Band, whatever, all those straws are in there, because remember, plastic takes, not less than 1,000 years to decompose. They decompose at different rates, but you can imagine all those years waiting for it to decompose. Next. So this is in the Antarctic, where we have glass and all that ending up there. And as all these ends up, in the oceans, we are destroying a very important, environment. These lead to increase in temperatures, the plastics along, the sea and the bottom of the sea. The seas and the oceans, we are told, they act as carbon sinks. Carbon sink is like the forests also, they absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So it reduces the rate of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, so the temperatures are tamed. So if we are clogging our seas, our waterways, trees are being cut on land, and in the seas we are doing that, then, temperatures are increasing. They are contributing. We are contributing to an increase in temperature. So this is now what happens to fishermen who are using, the fish nets and all that, and they throw them, and finally, this little animal, it's a seal, is trapped in there. So some of them, they are choked and they die. Some of them are rescued, in time. So our little careless, activities, we may think I've just dropped it here, but what is happening at the end of the road with these items that we throw? That is a seal. Also, now that's the plastic bottles that we are talking about. They ingest them and they will die. Next. So that is now deep in the ocean. This was taken by sea divers. What is happening to the turtles? Our small plastic, caps that we use, they ingest them thinking it is food. And because they are at the bottom of the sea, there's a lot of destruction that is going on there. So we need to be very careful. We are told that by 2048, we are going to have fishless oceans. Scientists have, discovered that, and it might even be before 2048, because the rate at which many plastics are being, produced, the way we are disposing of, is going to cause us not to have, any fish anymore. Even our lakes here, Lake Nakuru, Naivasha, and all that, they are threatened. They are also threatened, not just the oceans only. And we're going to see the effect of all this. Now, that is a picture, maybe you can, that is me. One time we took a walk in the Madare with the students, and so I was showing them, demonstrating to them, this is supposed to be a stream that is going to go into the Madare River, but it has turned into, sewage. It's all sewage being poured in there. And all the plastic, is thrown in there. And it finds its way. We actually followed along and went up to the Madare River, and we left it there going on downstream. Eventually, it will find itself in the Tana somewhere there and in the ocean. So we all are, part of this mess or not part of this mess, guilty or not guilty. So we need to think about our actions. That is now the Madare River. That is a place called Riverside. Our school is not very far from there, maybe about 800 to 900 meters from there. So we just see the sludge. It's not a river anymore now. It's a sludge that is just moving. Even the floods could not clean it. Even with all that heavy amount of water from wherever, the water could not be clear. So telling us there's a lot more going on, sewer being deposited in those areas. And so those are some of the, images, just to put us in perspective of what we are doing. So what are the effects? One, it's an eyesore. When you see litter all over, don't you get mad? Does it make you happy? You see, unless you're training, as Mama said, thank you for your example because I'll use it. You're not trained, you're not been brought up. And even if you are not brought up, can't you just see? Ignorance is no defense. When we are walking to town with Vanna, many a times I'll keep making noise. We keep making noise about the litter all over. And it's like, we need some. When you're taking a walk with my daughters, they tell me, Mom, if you're coming to look at litter, please, I'm not going to take this walk with you. Then I say, okay, I won't see. But it bothers. It bothers because it can be done. It can be done. If only we dispose of that litter in the right place, we can have a very good environment. So beauty is distorted. You can see those people fishing in that ocean. Sicknesses. We were told about the Dandora dam site. We have children in my school who live around there. And they forage there. Some of them don't come to school. They go to forage there so that they can get some plastics, sell, and get money to have a meal. And when you think they are lying to you, when you call their parents, they say yes. Then you're at a loss. They say that's what we do. So we tell them the child should be in school, but it's happening. There's death of aquatic animals. As I said, when we dispose of, we are contributing to global warming. And livelihoods are also being destroyed. There are those people who depend on fishing, and Vanna sent me, Minister Vanna sent me a clip one day that said that, tilapia is slowly disappearing from our plates. The real tilapia, those who know real tilapia, right? It is slowly disappearing from our plates. Why? Because of the pollution of the lake. And it's not just the people around Kisumu, even those upstream, everywhere, any stream that is going into the lake, anyone upstream, if you're traveling on those roads and you're throwing, litter, it ends up there. And so soon we will not be enjoying, the litter, the nice tilapia that we have. So those are just some of the effects. The question is, what should we do then? What should we do then? This is where now our stewardship comes in as Christians. Bessie has told us some, Kate told us some of them, and there are things that we really need to do as an individual. Change starts with me. That was our mantra this week with our students in school, and I was like, yeah. So change starts with me. It starts with you. And if what you're seeing, you don't like it, then be the change that you want to see. I think that was Mahatma Gandhi who said that. Be the change that you want to see. You want a beautiful environment, then stop littering. Talk to people about it. Ask yourself. The first thing is ask yourself, how have I participated in destroying Mother Earth? How have I participated? What am I going to do about it? The first example, and we were given, is Jesus. We said that we are Christians. We are supposed to behave Christ-like. So in another example, Jesus fed 5,000 men, and they didn't count for us the women and the children. But I can imagine if we took census here, women are more than men here, isn't it? So you can imagine these people, the women must have been so many, plus their children, so many. So maybe it even went to 10,000, who knows, right? So there were so many. So they ate, and after that, the ground was littered. And what happened? The disciples picked up the remnants. Why did they pick up the remnants? I want to believe, and I know Jesus led by example. He trained them. He was training them, to do everything. So that is why they picked up the litter, and it was 12 baskets. And everyone was happy, I believe. When they came back to that place, the place was very clean. So God hates littering. Check yourself. What are you doing? Stop littering. Change your attitude. Change your attitude. It's about attitude change. Then participate in cleanup activities, not just cleanup, but let me say in national and international, activities. Don't say, I don't know. Please, Christians, let us be informed. Go on the net. Look, there are these activities going on, every time, and be part of it, because we are replenishing, we are subduing the earth that God gave to us. Like in September, there's a World Cleanup Day. Did you know that? We have a World Cleanup Day in September. So before we even come to our Mazingira Day and all that, clean up, join the cleanups, go to your neighborhood, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. Old and young, come out. I'm told in Rwanda, they have a day of community. You can decide in your own area, have a community day, come out and clean up. Don't just wait for September only. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is a letter that a student wrote. He also was a student leader. Apparently, I also oversee and take care of the student leadership in the school. And one of the things that the chair leaders should do, they must, be part of the environmental program. If I am, they have to be. So I use that opportunity to train them even in leadership. They may end up being environmentalists, but they pick up some leadership skills. So this is the solution. And this after this student had been looking around the school and seeing how his fellow students are behaving with what they have been given. So dear students, and I guess now you're his students, the world is changing, the climate is worsening, temperatures are rising, glaciers are floods in some parts of the world, while in others, devastating drought. Sadly, our country is among the nations in the world bearing the brutal brunt of climate change. Kenya has experienced the most devastating drought ever in the past half decade. In fact, from 2021 till this year, that was about 2022, the drought has been severe, that it was nicknamed the wave of death. I remember we were told about 500 elephants had died that year. He goes on to say, with the drought has come food crisis. Over 3.1 million starving in Kenya alone. In the northern parts, the cattle are dropping dead. Parents watch helplessly as their children die due to malnutrition. Having a meal a day is a miracle to them. They have to wake up every early morning to look for food with no scarcity of getting it. What about you, who does not need to worry about food? What about you, who have at your disposal everything you need? What about you, who has the surety of breakfast, lunch, supper? Is it not a blessing from God? Does that give you the audacity to pour food? I believe that each and every one of you has a role to play in conserving what we have. So that is, he's touching on food, disposing of our food and how our attitude towards food. Every time you are about to pour that food, remember that a child has just died due to lack of it. Every time you leave the tap running, remember that someone is walking miles just to get a cup of it. Let us take the tiniest step in conserving what we have. Yes, the amazing feeling of getting involved is worth it. Let us have a heart of compassion to the vulnerable and suffering. Let us be mindful of what we have, because change begins with us. It is us who have the responsibility to make the change. Thank you. This was written, he says, yours faithfully, hungry man. But the student was called Milton. Today he is a student at KMTC in Kisumu. And when he got to the school, he realized that they don't have, they have core values. They don't have environmental conservation, because that is one of our core values in our school. So he walked to the dean and told him, could we have this? And the dean of the college accepted. And you see, that is a solution, you know, that this young man brought at just 17. So this young man who wrote this letter, as he says, you know, there are some who are sleeping without food. He was a victim of the same. Sometimes they have no food at all to eat. They come to school, they're hungry. So he's looking around and he's seeing people pour food, and that made him write that letter. And I want to thank God for that, because this letter was picked up to be used to make, you know, learning material. So ignorance is no defense. And so finally, just before I leave, make use of waste. Make use of waste. We need to make use of the waste that we have. Our waste is our gold. We can turn it into gold. And Kate has displayed some of the things. I just have a few things, Mr. John, assist me, that I'll show you. There's a practical solutions that we do in school with the students. These young people have talent, and this talent can grow into very many things. You know, teachers, we always have teaching aids. We must have a teaching aid. So this, this item, as you see it, it's made from waste in the school. You know, we have a team, we have girls and boys. So there's one team of boys that do waste separation. They pick papers, cardboards, put them separately. So when you look at it, behind here is cardboard. This cardboard is from our store. You know, so they took it, and we bought colored paper. The blue paper is colored paper, and this is colored paper. But the rest is waste. This is the plastic cups that we are wasting, that they mounted here. And this is a broomstick. You know the Makuti brooms, eh? I told them not a new one. When they're sweeping and they're left over, they bring them, stick them there, and these are bottle tops, you know, that they stack there. Remember, we saw that we have bottle tops that are messing our environment. These are earrings. These are metal, these are earrings. These ones, I had to get permission from my girls. They were not using them. So I took them and they dismantled and put them here. So you can see that this is a ribbon, a piece of a ribbon also from waste, not new. The only new thing here is just the colored paper. So we can turn waste, you know, into something interesting. It can be done better. This is just to demonstrate out of, you know, thank you. You know, out of waste, you can make money. So if someone, the young people, I gave them this and I tell them, sit and see, what can we do? And they came up with that. Thank you. The other one is interesting. I'm sure some of you will wonder, oh, it's not a snake. I don't like them. Yeah, so this is a skipping rope. By the way, this is a skipping rope. And it's made from, you see the bottle tops? That small ring? Yeah, so in school when we have functions and at the end of the term they're given soda, so they take the rings, they, this one was clipped. You want to skip? Yeah, so they collect them over time. It's not easy. So this now is used during the EE lessons. So saving the school some money, you know, and having fun. And this is a skipping rope that has been around for over 2 years now. It was made by a class that is now in Form 2, you know, during the life skills lessons. So you can do this. You can do this as a family. You can decide to have some fun time, you know, and you'll have a skipping rope that you'll pass on from generation to generation to generation. And then finally, let's just have this. That's a flower vase. Flower vase, they call it a vase. Okay, and it's made from these. If you in offices, we have these cartridges. Have some people seen some of these cartridges? Yeah, so in our office, we have, you know, cartridges that after they're used, they don't dispose them. We tell the secretary to keep them, and then we took it and they decorated it with some, you know, wallpaper and that, and it made a flower vase. And we can demonstrate with some flowers we have in here, which recently were also made by a student. This is from plastic. I was impressed. This is from plastic. A student just went and made them. And you see, wastes can be turned into something beautiful. And they can make an income. You know, this is just a demonstration, but if it's polished up, they can actually earn an income from it. So that is now one way in which we can make use of our waste so that it doesn't end up in the waterways, as we are saying. Now, taking care of environment, most people just think it is planting trees only. No, it is also this litter that we are talking about, and some of the litter can be used, you know, productively to even make better things. There's a short clip, if you'll allow me, just a clip to show a summary of, you know, how the children, you know, go around doing this so that we can encourage, you know, other children, our own children. As I said, we can have some fun time, you know, at home with our children, once in a while collecting these items. And then, yes, we will have done justice to Mother Earth. So, Mato, team. Today we are here enjoying our Littlest campaign. We are putting together everything that we have learned, what the students have learned on the Littlest campaign. They have learned that you can turn litter into money, and other than just turning it into money, students have learned a lot of things that they have connected from their curriculum.
I'm staying around a river, which is
Today we are here enjoying our Littlest campaign. We are putting together everything that we have learned, what the students have learned on the Littlest campaign. They have learned that you can turn litter into money, and other than just turning it into money, students have learned a lot of things that they have connected from their curriculum.
I'm staying around a river, which is known as Madare River. I see a lot of waste there, the fashion waste, plastic waste, and all sorts of waste which can be made useful, but people are not aware of them.
Our environment is not only about human beings, but it's also about the little insects who live under the ground. For example, we have the ants and all those. We found that when we litter our environment, maybe by throwing the polythene bags everywhere, we found that those polythene bags do not compose, hence they find themselves or their way into the soil, which makes it unhealthy for the living things inside the soil. We find that by that way we'll be destroying our environment and destroying the things that live under the environment.
So I sat down with the help of my teacher, who is my mentor, and I found out that the fashion waste can be made useful by collecting them and upcycling them and making another fabric which can be useful instead of leaving them thrown in the river.
The things that we are destroying, like for example the polythene bags, for example the biro pens, we find that they can be recycled or repurposed for any other use. For example, decorations, other things, they can be used for inventions, like inventing other things from the waste. For example, we can use cardboard for making a decoration, and we can use the bottle ring for making something like a skipping rope, which can make other people enjoy it more.
It gave me the courage to venture into creativity with my students, and we do it together. I don't go into it like I know it. We throw ourselves in the deep sea together and we say, what can we do with this?
So my favorite part was the act of spray painting, whereby we had an empty can which was a waste to the environment, and we decided to recycle it by spray painting it by the use of the spray that we had in the school. The school had provided for us. Then after spray painting it, it comes into the blue color, which was somehow attractive. Then we gave it to the girls. Then the girls decorated it, placed some flowers on it, which made it be attractive, and it could also be used in the offices for putting some pencil inside, or also we can use it for selling. We earn some money in the society as a profit from it, and yet it's a waste.
I've talked to the students and all of them to bring all the plastics, whether they find it at home, in the road, and also to tell other people the importance of them.
So we already have sensitized the people, the workers, the secretary, the guy who does the printing, that once the cartridge is over, don't throw it away. Previously they would throw. So they keep them for us. So we have many and we use those to make our vases. So we make little gifts here and there and we give them as giveaways to the teachers, and that is one way of also sensitizing teachers about litter, you know, how they can use it productively.
I involved my community during the Little List campaign in our activities by gathering a few of our people from the school, from the prefects of course, and then we managed to circle the school, try to get enough litter as we could, and then we separated our own. Here we got our white paper and our boxes as well, scattered pieces of bottles as well, to try to keep the school clean.
During the Littlest campaign, my favorite part was to learn about different kind of wastes and litter and upscale them into various items. Like you can use them to decorate in an office, you can use them or repurpose them into other items, and you can earn money through the litter and wastes by upscaling into different objects.
So we also now have involved someone outside the school who comes to pick the litter. Once it's ready, he calls us. Like plastics, we collect them around the school. We don't have much, but we spread our wings out. We tell the children we are having, you know, a plastic competition. So the class that brings the highest number of litter, you know, plastics is going to get a gift. We award them.
Our environment is ours and we need to make it clean because it's a source, it provides us with a lot of things, and we need to make it clean by recycling plastics, upscaling our fashion waste and not allowing them end up in our rivers, because we also have aquatic plant in our rivers.
Just remember one thing, Mother Earth is not a dustbin. Let's just make Mother Earth smile by managing litter and waste, disposing them properly, and making our environment clean. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Studio, thank you very much. So I've taken a little bit of time, but sorry about that. I'll just wind up by saying, go out there and be an ambassador. Go out there and be an ambassador of God's green army. Do not be the polluter, but be the solution. Do not be the polluter, but be the solution. Thank you once again, and God bless you all. Thank you.